Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Bundles, and today's video is going to be an encouragement video. I really want to tell you all that a lot of you are doing a great job. You know, a lot of you are sticking with your business ideas. You are bringing your ideas to reality. You're being dedicated. You're making sure that you are staying creative. You are being resilient. And so I want to come on here and I want to give you all some motivation, just because I know that it's needed. So often we can be our biggest critics, and we can start getting down on ourselves and feeling like everything we're doing is in vain. If you don't see the results that you are anticipating receiving, even the best of the best have days where they feel defeated, or they feel like something could have went better. And so I just want to point out some things for you to remember while you're on this journey. The reason that I know a lot of people are doing a good job is because I still do communicate with entrepreneurs through consultations, my mentoring services, also through emails and text messages. A lot of you reach out to me and you tell me what's going on with your business. You tell me how a video inspired you or helped you. You ask me questions, and I truly appreciate that. So I'm going to just let you all know how I feel about the people that are really dedicated to their businesses and maybe feeling like they're not seeing any results based on or from the work that they're putting out. So the first thing that I want to remind you all is to appreciate every moment in your entrepreneurial journey. That may sound cliche, but it's very true. You'll never live the same moment twice. And I was just thinking back to when I first started my hair business. When I first created my website, I was super excited. I was scared. I was nervous. I remember the first time that I got discouraged. I remember the first time that I dealt with a fraudulent charge through my business, and I shared that experience here on YouTube. And I remember the first time I opened my salon. I remember my first public speaking event. And for a lot of those experiences, I shared them right here on YouTube with you all. And when I was going through those experiences, each and every one of them, I remember feeling a certain way, but still wanting to be in a different space in business. So even when I got my first sale, I was happy, but I didn't allow myself to get too wrapped up in that happiness before I started thinking about, okay, well, I made one sale, but no, that's not enough. I need to be making 10 sales, and no, that's not enough. I need to be making this, and no, that's not enough. I need to be doing this too, and I need to do this. And although there's nothing wrong with wanting more, setting goals, pushing forward, you know, going past even exceeding your own expectations, there's nothing wrong with that. However, there's also nothing wrong with stopping to smell the roses. And that is so necessary in your journey, because not only does it help you, it can help you stay motivated when you feel like giving up and becoming discouraged, but it's also very good to know your experience for when you do get further. Because a lot of people, when I talk to them and I ask, you know, hey, how did you feel when this happened? Or, hey, remember when we were working on this a few years ago? Even before I started offering mentoring services, I was mentoring people. I was assisting people. And so there are people from years ago, before I even rolled out my mentoring service, that reach out and say, hey, I'm still at my business. I'm still doing this. And hey, this happened. And hey, I tried this and this is working now. I think it's so amazing to be able to see a business blossom, a business grow. And even if the business isn't doing exactly what you intended it to do, even if you're not reaching the amount of revenue that you want to reach, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying forget about it. I'm not saying don't strive for more, but I'm saying remember how you feel during this time. Document it. There are some videos I go back and I look at, even leaving the salon, and I remember how I felt during that phase. And it was around that time that I learned to kind of slow down and smell the roses and take in what my experience is actually showing me and teaching me. Because even when I do different speaking events and even when I mentor people, it's an important part of my business to be able to go back and reiterate and illustrate, in a sense, how I felt during those experiences. And if I just rush through everything to try to get to the next level, or just quit in the face of any adversity or challenge with my business, I wouldn't have as strong as a testimony as I do now with my business, because I wouldn't have given myself the opportunity to learn and actually feel what this portion of my entrepreneurial journey means. And also, I know how it feels to constantly market and then give up your business and have to start from, it seems like, ground zero. I talked about how when I got started with my hair business, I got discouraged and I put it on the back burner. I actually stopped it. I took it off the stove. I haven't say put on the back burner. I took it off the stove. And after discussing some things with my brother in his living room, I said, you know what, this is something I'm going to stick to. This is something I'm going to come back even bigger and better with. And I made that commitment and I stuck to it. And me knowing how it felt to have to work twice as hard to get my business momentum back to where it was when I stopped my business, and that momentum wasn't even where I wanted it to be. It was just it was a lot. And so because I felt that and I allowed myself to go through understanding and being in the now with my business and fighting through that portion of not having any customers, having to get my name out there, building relationships with people, building trust, repricing my products, finding quality vendors. It made me appreciate where I am in business, and it always keeps me driven to not give up, because I don't want to start back at square one again. So that's my first tip. Just appreciate each moment that you're in business, even if it's a moment that you don't think you're going to like or that you hate right now. It may be something that really can help further your business, because there are a lot of entrepreneurs that have turned their pain into their passion. They have turned their stories literally into multi-million-dollar businesses. So it's important to realize what value your experience holds. It's not just about getting to the finish line and you're there. It's about traveling, to the finish line, and all the things that you get to see, people that you get to meet, the lessons that you get to learn, the feelings that you get to take in, and all of that's supposed to make you a better person and more skilled at what you do. The next thing that I want to go over, let me put from my window, I think somebody's listening to music or it's a concert or something, but challenge yourself in ways that you haven't before. So push your own limits. This is something else that I want to remind you all to do. If you're feeling like, man, I've tried everything, nothing's working, I've done this, I've done that, I'm about to give up, or, hey, I'll keep doing it, but I'm not really excited anymore. I don't believe that anything is going to map out how I planned it to map out. I don't think I'm going to be able to reach my goals doing this. Challenge yourself. Like, even if you don't feel discouraged, let's say that you feel happy with your business and how everything is going right now. Challenge yourself. See what else you can do. Don't be afraid to push your own limits. There are sometimes I get nervous and I'm like, you know what? Do I really want to make another business? Do I really want to start another podcast segment? Do I really want to write an ebook? Do I really want to mentor this many people per month in addition to doing consultations? And I'm not saying don't pace yourself. I'm not saying don't structure yourself. I'm not saying say yes to every opportunity, but I'm saying push yourself beyond your limits. When I started going to the gym, I really didn't believe that I could do some of the things that I did. Like, it wasn't until my trainer was like, no, Brittany, like, you can keep going. For example, I didn't think that I could exercise while on my cycle. I'm someone where, and this may be TMI, but if I'm on my cycle, I don't want to do too much of anything, and everyone's different in that way, but that's just me. So when he was like, Brittany, challenge yourself, like, push yourself. You can do this, this is good for your body. And of course, everyone, you have to take go to your own trainer, your own doctor. I'm not giving you any advice pertaining to that. I'm just explaining my experience. But in doing that, I was able to push myself past some of the limitations that I had on myself in my mind, because I for sure thought that I was going to get a break every time my cycle came on. Like, I was like, okay, well, cool, we're going to work toward my goal, but each time that happens, I'm going to just take a week off. And he was like, no, that's not how it goes at all. So it's really important to challenge yourselves, because when you challenge yourself, sometimes you surprise yourself. I surprised myself so many times. There are times that I felt like I could not do what I was planning on doing. Like when I first started my hair business, I'm someone that is very shy. Now, I don't want to say I'm shy, but I'm reserved. I built up my communication skills the longer that I've been in business, to be honest. But even when I started my business, I was trying to think of every way that I could boost my business without talking to people, like unless I knew them. And it wasn't because I don't like people. It wasn't because I was lazy. It was just because I was reserved and I just wanted to talk to people. I felt more comfortable talking to people that I knew, which a lot of people may feel that way. There are some people that are just naturally good at talking to anybody. And when I realized that business is based on the relationships you have with people, and that if I want to push myself to the next level in business, I am going to have to build relationships with people, and that is going to consist of me communicating. I had to push myself past limits. So when I did my first public speaking gig, I was super shocked, number one, that I was even chosen out of everyone else that they could have chosen to speak. I was shocked that I was chosen. And then I was shocked that I even was able to get up there and deliver. I was shocked that I didn't pass out. I remember my mouth getting dry and heart beating fast. I was super nervous, but it's something that I pushed myself to do. And I remember that experience, and that experience helped me in the next endeavor. And it helped me in the endeavor after that. It helped me further my career. Also, the marketing, getting out there and speaking to different people that I wouldn't have spoken to, any other way. So there's a lot of positives that come from pushing yourself. So if there's something else that you want to do in your business as well, or with your business, or you have another dream or goal, don't limit yourself. Definitely don't put too much on your plate where you can't handle it and you get burned out. But have faith in yourself. Push yourself, challenge yourself past your own limits. The next thing that I want to remind you all is overcome your doubts. So often we allow ourselves to think negatively about ourselves. Like I told you in the beginning of the video, sometimes we can be our worst critics. We're telling ourselves, we should be further. We should be doing this. We should be doing that. And really, I can blame a lot of it on social media, because social media does a great job with highlighting just what people want you to see. And that works on every angle, but a lot of people don't tell you the truth or show you transparency. And people have a way of scheming now. I don't want to say now, scheming and scamming and all that has been going on since the beginning of, I'm sure. But even now, like people have ways of making things look like they are when they're not. So it's like people that are really, really working hard. I've even heard entrepreneurs say, I'm just going to take this picture and make it look like I have sales, even though I don't. And people get creative as to how they do it. They think of stuff that I never even would have thought of. But people think of ways to make themselves seem more successful than they really are. And so for the person that is watching them or following them and, hoping that they can be like them, or hoping that they're doing the best that they can do, or they're on target with their business, they're getting a false sense of where other competitors are, because competitors aren't being honest all the time. People aren't honest all the time. So we have to stop comparing ourselves, and we have to start having more faith in who we are and what we bring to the table, what we can do, and have faith in us. Stop doubting ourselves. And if you doubt yourself, and they're legitimate doubts, so let's say you're like, hey, I want to take my business and this business idea and actually bring it into reality. But I'm doubtful about doing that because I don't have a platform to sell on. Okay, well, find a way to overcome that objection. Find a way to overcome that doubt. Okay, so I don't have the funds right now to obtain a website. So instead of me selling online, I'm going to sell this way. Okay, instead of me selling this way, I'm going to also sell this way. So be creative. Another thing I want to remind you all is to not base your success on temporary trends. So what I mean by that is, let's say the new trend comes out, and the new trend is like another platform that's similar to Instagram. And now let's use Instagram. People before were basing success off of blue checks on Instagram. and they were like, well, this account has a blue check, so they're really verified, and people will really work toward getting that blue check so that they could be looked at as successful or more important or like a big brand or whatever the case. And when people were able to buy the blue checks, people rushed and they paid $5 or however much it was for the blue checks. And some people still didn't get I didn't get the blue check. But there are some people that were feeling like, okay, if I don't buy this blue check, then I'm not successful in my business, or I'm not going to be viewed as successful. I just want to let you know, trends come and they go. I've never been a trendy person. And if I knew how to stick to the trends and do a lot of the trendy things that people do to increase their views, I would use some of the marketing side of that, to boost my business and things like that. But as far as like the fundamentals, I have stayed in business longer than some people that I'm mentoring now that are more trendy and have more followers than me. Because ultimately, the goal in business is not about how many people you can get to like your pictures. There are people that like some people are better at taking pictures. Let's just put it like that. Some people have better view for what looks good. They just do. Some people are better at home decorating than others. Some people just know how to put things together, home decor, outfits, pictures. They just know how to vlogs. They just know how to make it look really good. But when it comes to doing business, you may have someone that likes all their pictures. You may even have someone that watches their videos. But when it comes to business, some people are noticing that people aren't comfortable purchasing from them. And really, like I mentioned a minute ago, having people purchase from you, it's for me, I take it as a relational approach. And that's something that trends can't replace. Trends can help you get discovered. I do believe trends can help you boost your views. I'm not saying on the marketing aspect that trends can't help, but when you're looking at having a business and actually having repeat customers and people give good reviews word of mouth, and people want to continuously work with you year after year, even when the trends die, there's a relational aspect that needs to go into place. Building upon integrity, treating people like people, being accessible, being yourself. Because one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs do too is they change their personality based on what's trending. I've seen that happen a lot of times as well. And yes, you may get a spike in likes, but I'm telling you, from looking on the back end, there are people that have more followers and likes than I do that still come to me for my assistance. Not based on my likes, but based on the information that I have on building their business organically, marketing, even if they're using ads. I've used ads before as well. But it's just, they come to me for my advice, even though I don't have as many likes as they may have. So I say all that to say, don't allow temporary trends to make you feel a certain way. Don't let them, make your head get big, in terms of becoming cocky, because like I said, things can change, and don't let them bring your spirits down, in terms of becoming discouraged, because again, they can change. But what you want to remain consistent at is the way you treat people, the way you're marketing, your business fundamentals and building blocks and foundation, and the way that you're presenting your products. Are you always going for the quality products, or are you just going for what's cheapest? All of that is really going to outlast what's trending at the moment. Next thing I want to go over is learn from every interaction. So I've been saying this pretty frequently. Learn from your experiences. Whatever you go through, grow through it. Like, I've learned so much. The first time that I experienced fraud in my business, where a customer got over on me, I was so upset. I was so mad. I was literally at the police station trying to find whatever way I could to get my product back or my money. And the person was out of state, so it's like, I'm glad that they were out of state, because at that moment I was like, I would even go to their door and just knock, even though it probably wasn't the safest thing. But that's how much I wanted to really confront the customer and figure out, like, why would you do this to me? I literally just started my business. I literally just invested all this money that I had to work really hard for. Like, why would you do somebody like that? And I'm getting all personal with it, because it was very personal to me. And, not really trying to look at the lesson at that point. I was just trying to figure out how I can get my money back. But there was a lesson to learn. So from that experience, it helped me better protect my business. I probably would have gotten taken advantage even worse if I hadn't had that experience and I didn't better proof my business. So whatever you're going through, use it as a learning experience. You may not like what you're going through, but grow through it. When I closed my salon, did I necessarily like closing the salon and seeing all the time and energy and money that I put into this venture? At that point, I was like, am I wasting it? Did it just was for nothing? But I was able to write an ebook off of my experience. I made lots of videos on my experiences. I actually spoke to different colleges about my experiences. I was able to get on radio shows talking about my experiences. And I literally capitalized off of that experience. And not just capitalized, but it taught me so much. It taught me about working with people even more. It taught me about running a brick and mortar location. It was completely different than I even imagined. No amount of videos or books could have told me how that experience was going to be for me, how many hours and long nights and early mornings would be there with my children as well. I just did not have a clear understanding until I was actually in that seat. I had a somewhat idea of how it could have been. I knew how other people's experiences were, but until I was actually in there, I had no idea. So I learned a great deal from doing that as well. So whatever position you're at in your business, learn from it. If you're struggling on, any portion, how can I get my email mailing list up? And you're just frustrated with that. Don't quit. But give yourself some grace. Look at some of the things that you are doing. Don't just look at what needs to be done every day. That can be a big mistake too. Don't look at that without looking at what you've already accomplished. Okay, I need to do this, but I've also done this. I need to do this, and that, but I've done this, and that. You want to make sure that you're telling yourself the truth, that you're balancing things out in your mind, and that you're being realistic and patient with yourself as well. So I really hope that this video helped in terms of keeping you all grounded and motivated with your business, because it can be very challenging, especially if you turn on social media and you see someone post, I just made my first million in 6 months, learn how. And you're like, what the heck? I can't even make my first $20 because I haven't gotten a sale. Like, what am I doing wrong? Relax. Okay, relax. It's okay. It's okay to be where you're at. Enjoy where you're at. Even though you may not be enjoying it, still enjoy the learning experiences that you're getting from it. Understand how you're feeling, and you can use that as motivation as to, why you don't want to get back to this place. Because there are some people that just, whenever there's something that's challenging, they quit, and they don't really have the full experience of running their business, working their business. There's no business that's going to be in business without any ups and downs. And so it's just good sportsmanship to continue on, even if you want to pivot your business. Like I mentioned before, I closed my salon down. That was a venture that was just not for me. And there aren't too many entrepreneurs that I know of that haven't had businesses that they've closed down, especially if they're serial entrepreneurs like myself. There are businesses that you may find out that you just don't want to do, and that's fine. But I'm speaking to the business that you're committed to, the business that you really want to do, but you're feeling like you shouldn't do it because you're not getting the results. That's what I'm speaking to today. So I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to sign up for my mailing list at keepingupwithbrittany.com. The link is down below, as well as my hair business website, or hair and business website, I should say, at badchickhair.com. I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye.